And the day foretold has came upon us, and Ainet decided to throw a wrench into the goulash. The reaction of the community was, as expected, over-exaggerated. I mean, look, I'm a bloody warrior, and I'm about to play devil's advocate here. That said, I agree that there are reasons to be concerned. But this patch looks bad mainly because it shines the spotlight on long existing problems that would grow and corrupt if left untouched, eventually breaking the game.
Oh god, the yeast. Look at my minimap. Look at my minimap. It spread so far.
28th of June year 2020 is a tumor cutout operation without anesthesia. It will hurt as a bloody fuck, but will help the health of the game in the long run. Let me explain what I have in mind. Main points of concern regarding the patch are fact that for several classes Ainet separates Bund support and DPS builds by forcing trait choices that dictate whether or not you can provide core bunds at all. Concern here is understandable. Limiting freedom of choice is never welcome. However, Ainet does that with preventing power creep in mind. You see, Bund supports and DPSs compete for the same spots in right groups. Therefore, if a build exists that can benchmark as much DPS as dedicated DPS builds while providing 50% quickness or alacrity uptime, Bund support as a role will disappear, since you can take 2 DPSs to fulfill the role of Bund supporter with no damage loss. Eventually, we would came to the point where every ride or strike group would consist of 2 healers and 8 DPSs, 4 of each build. It would be the most rigid, undiverse, stale meta in history of the game. And as much as the changes confuse and frighten some of you all, they do bad to prevent worse. It's of course not a justification, bad still happens. It's just another necessary evil. Second point of concern is removal of unique mechanics from banners and spirits. I understand that unique mechanics make related classes more unique, but banners and spirits were barely even mechanics. Banners were nothing but extra stats, and active effects of spirits have remained untouched. Don't cry after extra stats, you got them back anyway. And now, you don't lose your full crit chance if your raid buddy commits a pepega and dies in the middle of a boss encounter, as I often do. Spirits and banners were that funny thing you use barely once a bloody minute. It's the most boring way you can implement a mechanic into the game, and I won't be missing them. Yes, Warrior can polish a pole of a poleaxe without banners, but Warrior is as well designed as a bloody diarrhea anyway. A class shouldn't be held up by a flat stat increase aura just to be considered relevant. Warrior is a long step behind other classes, and with banners gone, it's finally time when poor fellow may receive some love. Another necessary evil. The only changes with no saving grace are addition of 10% damage nerf on Spectacular Sphere and stealth buffs for Thief. I understand that Catalyst has a tendency to break DPS records, but Catalyst requires enemy to stand relatively still to land on that benchmark. Secondly, stealth buffs in PvP and World v World. That's for me the biggest reason why patch raises concern. Ainet doesn't seem to realize how powerful full invisibility is, and with the changes to shadow arts on top of it all, PvP might end up as even more of a ghost town than it is today. But who cares anyway? I hate myself enough to keep playing, and half of them fuckers in ranked deserve to get thiefed into the bloody ground.